rabbit.
4 words on a screen, no explanation, gone in seconds. Everyone remembers this scene and what follows it, but nobody explains what it actually means. This isn't a cool detail. This is the most carefully engineered sequence in the entire trilogy. And once you see what's really happening in this scene, you'll never watch The Matrix the same way again. Before we get to the rabbit, we need to understand the man who follows the white rabbit. When the film opens, Neo is already broken. He lives alone. He barely sleeps. He works a corporate job by day and disappears into a computer screen by night, hunting for something he cannot name or describe or explain to anyone who might ask. He has built his entire life around a question he doesn't have the words for yet. And then, Choi knocks on the door.
You're my savior, man. My own personal Jesus Christ.
Choi says this as a throwaway joke. He is a man picking up illegal software from a hacker at 2 in the morning, and he is grateful, and he reaches for the biggest compliment he knows. It lands as a laugh line, but the trilogy is already whispering underneath it. Neo as savior. Neo as a messianic figure. The architect will later reveal that this role, the returned anomaly, the man who reloads the system, was not discovered. It was designed. The machines built the prophecy. They constructed the myth of the chosen one, specifically because a population of rebels needs something to believe in. Choi calls Neo Jesus Christ as a joke in the first 10 minutes of the film, and the punchline takes 3 movies to land.
This never happened. You don't exist.
Again, Choi thinks he is talking about the transaction. He is a careful customer covering his tracks. But listen to what he actually says. You don't exist. Neo, not Thomas Anderson, but Neo, the hacker, the searcher, the version of this man that the system has no file on, genuinely does not exist inside the Matrix. Thomas Anderson has a social security number, an employer, an apartment. Neo has nothing. He is the identity that lives in the gaps, in the spaces the system cannot fully see. Choi accidentally describes the literal truth of who Neo is before Neo has any idea himself. The scene is doing 2 things at once, and only one of them is visible on the surface. Then Neo, the line that contains the entire film.
You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
He is not being poetic. He is describing a genuine, persistent, low-level wrongness that he has been living with for as long as he can remember. Something underneath his daily life that doesn't add up. A hum he can't locate. A question he can't silence. This is the sensation that has kept him awake, kept him searching, kept him at that computer night after night. His subconscious already knows the truth. His conscious mind just hasn't found the door yet. Then the message appears, follow the white rabbit. And a few minutes later, he does. Most people register the white rabbit as a Lewis Carroll reference and move on. It is a Lewis Carroll reference, but understanding why that reference was chosen is the whole point. Alice follows the rabbit into a world that operates on completely different rules to her own. Rules that look like madness from the outside, but are internally consistent once you're inside them. She doesn't choose to fall down the rabbit hole in any meaningful way. She follows something that catches her eye, and then she is in a world she can't unfeel or unsee or return from unchanged. Neo is about to do exactly the same thing, and the rabbit is not an accident. When Choi's girlfriend du jour turns around, and the camera lingers on the white rabbit tattooed on her shoulder, Neo's reaction is the reaction of a man receiving a signal he doesn't know he was waiting for. He was told to follow the white rabbit. There it is, right there, on the shoulder of a woman asking him to come out.
Should we take him with us?
Definitely.
Du jour's answer is immediate, no hesitation. She already knows the plan. She is not a random party girl who happened to be in the right place. Trinity put her there. The Resistance found Neo through the Oracle's guidance, and Trinity engineered this moment. The message on the screen, the figure with the tattoo, the invitation, to give Neo a reason to move without telling him why he was moving. You cannot drag a man toward the truth. You can only place the symbols in front of him and trust that the question already burning in him will do the rest.
I can't. I have work tomorrow.
Come on. It'll be fun. I promise.
Yeah. Sure. I'll go.
Read that exchange carefully. Neo resists. Then he folds in a single beat. One sentence of resistance, one sentence of persuasion, and he goes. This is not weakness. This is the question overriding the rational mind. He has work, he is tired, he has every practical reason to stay home. But something pulls him out the door anyway. Something he couldn't explain if you asked him. The White Rabbit is already working. Trinity hasn't even spoken to him yet. The club is loud and dark and full of people, and Trinity finds him immediately.
Hello, Neo.
Not Thomas, Neo. The very first thing she does is use the name that the system has no record of. In a room full of noise, she cuts through everything and tells him in 2 words, "I know which version of you is real. I know the one you hide."
I know a lot about you.
She does. And this is where the lore of the trilogy starts to fold back on itself, in ways the film trusts you to feel, even if you can't articulate them yet. Trinity has been watching Neo for longer than this moment. She found him because Morpheus told the Resistance where to look. Morpheus knew where to look because the Oracle told him. The Oracle told him because she had already seen this conversation happening, had already calculated the precise moment Neo would be ready to hear it. The chain stretches back further than Neo can see. By the time Trinity says, "I know a lot about you," she is the final link in a sequence that began with a prophecy. Neo's reaction is perfect.
The Trinity? That cracked the IRSD base.
He knows her by reputation. This tells us everything about how deep Neo has gone in his searching. He knows the legends of the hacker underground. He knows the names that are spoken carefully and rarely. He knows Trinity. And then the film gives us something that seems like a small joke, but is doing very precise work.
I just thought, you were a guy.
This is the first time in the film that Neo's expectations are completely dismantled by reality. He had a model of who Trinity was. The model was wrong. In 30 seconds of conversation, everything he assumed has been overturned. The Matrix has been conditioning Neo, as it conditions everyone, to expect certain things from certain information. Trinity breaks that conditioning immediately, effortlessly, almost as a side note. It is a rehearsal, a small preview of the much larger unlearning that is coming. Then the warmth leaves Trinity's voice, and she says the line that changes everything.
Right now, all I can tell you is that you're in danger. I brought you here to warn you.
Right now, all I can tell you. That phrase is carrying enormous weight. Trinity knows the full truth. She knows about the Matrix, about the machines, about what Neo is and what he will be asked to do, and what it will cost him. She has been told, by Morpheus, through the Oracle's method, to give him only what he can absorb. A drowning man doesn't need information. He needs a hand. Right now, Neo needs just enough to keep moving toward the next door.
They're watching you, Neo.
The agents, the system, the machines that run a simulation of 1999 to keep 8 billion human beings asleep and generating power. They are watching Neo because every version of the One gets watched, tracked, managed, guided toward the architect's chamber so the system can reset itself. Trinity is warning him about a real and immediate danger. She is also, without knowing it, describing a surveillance that goes much deeper than agents in suits. Neo is being watched by the entire architecture of his reality. He just doesn't have the frame for that yet. What comes next is the philosophical spine of the entire trilogy, disguised as a quiet conversation in a nightclub.
I know why you're here, Neo. I know what you've been doing. I know why you hardly sleep, why you live alone, and why night after night you sit at your computer.
Trinity is not guessing. She is describing him with the precision of someone who has studied him, who has sat in the dark and watched him from the other side of a screen. But more than the surveillance, what this does is make Neo feel seen for the first time. Not Thomas Anderson, the employee, the tenant, the unremarkable programmer. Neo, the real one, the one who cannot sleep, cannot stop searching, cannot make the noise in the back of his mind go quiet. Someone knows about that version of him. Someone found him.
You're looking for him. I know because I was once looking for the same thing. And when he found me, he told me I wasn't really looking for him. I was looking for an answer.
Trinity stops being a stranger in this sentence and becomes a mirror. She was Neo. She sat where he sits. She felt what he feels. She followed the question until it led her to Morpheus, and Morpheus told her something that reframed the entire search. You were never looking for a person. You were looking for an answer. The person was just the direction the answer happened to be standing in. This matters enormously for what the trilogy becomes, because Neo is not on a quest to find Morpheus. He is on a quest to silence a question. Morpheus is just the next white rabbit.
It's the question that drives us, Neo. It's the question that brought you here. You know the question, just as I did.
The question is not random. It is not a personal quirk of Neo's restless personality. The Oracle engineered it into the system deliberately. A hook she planted in the 1% of humans whose minds reject the simulation. The question is the exit. The machines couldn't remove it without breaking the system entirely, so they built a controlled path for it instead. People who feel the question strongly enough get guided toward Morpheus, toward the red pill, toward Zion, which the machines then periodically destroy and rebuild. The question feels like rebellion. It is, in fact, a feature, which means Trinity is not recruiting Neo. She is recognizing him. The system already selected him. She is the first person to say it to his face. And then she waits.
What is the Matrix?
Neo says it, not Trinity. She has been standing in front of him in a loud nightclub, having a conversation designed to bring him to the edge of this question, and she lets him fall off the edge himself. This is the Oracle's method running through Trinity, without Trinity fully understanding that she is using it. You never hand a person the answer they need to find. You ask questions, remove obstacles, place symbols in their path, and eventually they say the words themselves. The moment Neo speaks that sentence aloud, he has already made the choice. Everything that follows, the phone call, the hotel, the red pill, is just Neo catching up with the decision his deeper self made the moment he typed the question into a search engine for the first time.
The answer is out there, Neo. It's looking for you. And it will find you if you want it to.
If you want it to. 4 words at the end of a long sentence, and they contain the entire moral architecture of the trilogy. Not it will find you because you're the one. Not it will find you because it's your destiny. It will find you if you want it to. Everything in this scene, the message, the rabbit, the club, Trinity herself, has been a test of one thing only. Not Neo's strength, or his intelligence, or his reflexes. His want. The depth of his need to know. The Matrix cannot hold a mind that truly, completely, irrevocably wants the truth. It never could. The wanting is the only key that ever mattered. This scene is not setup. It is not prologue. It is not the film clearing its throat before the real story begins. This is the moment Thomas Anderson ends and Neo begins. Not the red pill scene, not the sparring room. Here, in a dingy apartment with a drug dealer making savior jokes, and a nightclub where a woman in black tells him the truth in careful doses, and then waits for him to say the hardest question out loud. Every person has a white rabbit, a symbol, a feeling, a persistent wrongness they can't locate or name, a question that keeps them awake. Most people learn to ignore it. They take the blue pill without ever knowing there was a choice. They become very good at being Thomas Anderson. Neo follows the rabbit, not because he was chosen, not because a prophecy demanded it, because the question was louder than the fear, because he wanted the answer more than he wanted the comfort of not knowing. The answer was out there. It was looking for him. He wanted it to find him. That's what the white rabbit scene actually means. Not a quirky detail, not a cool reference. The precise moment a man decides, in the quiet way that real decisions are always made, that he is done pretending the question isn't there. Everything else is just what happens next.